Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, a drug lord so elusive, not even maximum security could hold him. His prison escapes are the stuff of legend. But how did he outsmart authorities time and time again? Well, let's dive deep into the mind of Mexico's most notorious escape artist and uncover the secrets behind his daring breakouts. Joaquin Archivaldo Guzman Loera was born on April 4, 1957, in the little town of La Tuna. Family problems pushed Guzman to leave his dad's house and live with his grandpa. During this period, he got the nickname El Chapo, which in Mexican slang means shorty, because he stood 1.68 meters tall and had a thick build. When Guzman was in his early 20s, he moved in with his uncle, Pedro Aviles Perez, a Mexican drug trafficker, to find other job opportunities. Guzman joined the drug world in the late 1970s as the U.S. had a big need for drugs. He started working for Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, who led the Guadalajara Cartel. With Gallardo's help, Guzman got to know the drug trafficking business inside out. He learned how to handle those tricky smuggling routes. In the late 1980s, Felix Gallardo went to jail. Guzman saw this as his big break and seized his opportunity. He started the Sinaloa Cartel, which grew into the richest and strongest drug group Mexico had ever seen. The group moved tons of cocaine from Colombia through Mexico to the U.S. On June 9, 1993, the jungle near the Mexico-Guatemala border buzzed with whispers at night. Guzman traveled with his rumored girlfriend, Maria de Rocio del Villar Becerra, and 4 loyal friends. He had no idea that the Salvadoran authorities planned to end his reign of terror. Earlier that evening, Guzman and his friends went to a hidden place near the border, looking for peace after days of drug trade madness. The Salvadoran police had put together clues from different sources and found out where Guzman was, leading to a search across country lines. As Guzman got into their car, armed soldiers gathered around it. The troops from Guatemala had waited for this chance and caught the man people once thought couldn't be beaten. Guzman, now in handcuffs, faced cameras that lit up like bolts of lightning. He said no to everything, claiming he was just a regular farmer, while officials told everyone about the reward for catching him. However, while his name made headlines for the first time, Guzman was laying the groundwork for an audacious escape that would soon rewrite history. On January 19, 2001, a scene that seemed like it came from a movie played out in the high-security prison of Puente Grande, Mexico. Francisco Camberos Rivera, a prison guard, assisted in one of the boldest prison breakouts in history, along with Javier Camberos, a maintenance worker. The breakout started when Francisco opened the cell door of Guzman, which was controlled by electronics. Guzman had been making plans to escape since the day the police arrested him. In his cell, Guzman got into a laundry cart. Javier Camberos, who had taken a bribe to help, pushed the cart through a maze of prison doors, each one bringing Guzman a step nearer to freedom. The laundry cart, concealing Guzman underneath dirty clothes, moved toward the prison's main entrance. Someone rolled him out and put him in a car trunk. Javier drove the vehicle. At a gas station, Javier went inside, leaving Guzman by himself in the trunk. He took this chance to vanish into the darkness. This escape operation involved 78 individuals, including guards, maintenance workers, and even the prison warden. Guzman wielded such power that he succeeded in convincing or bribing almost everyone connected to his imprisonment. The guards heard a tale about Guzman smuggling gold from the prison. This gold came from rocks in the inmate workshop. In truth, Guzman spent a whopping $2.5 million on his escape. The clever trick worked well enough to keep the guards from looking too closely at the laundry cart. After getting out, Guzman still faced challenges. The police in Jalisco took bribes to give Guzman a head start. This gave him at least 24 hours to avoid getting caught. After he got away, people were talking about his audacious moves. They said he'd walk into places to eat. His guards would take everyone's phones. He'd pay for all the food, then vanish without a trace. Even with soldiers and federal cops looking everywhere for him, Guzmán stayed out of reach. His knack for staying one step ahead of those chasing him made him seem like a legend. The police thought Guzmán was hiding in the Golden Triangle, a far-off area in the Sierra Madre Mountains, an area that covers parts of Sinaloa, Durango, and Chihuahua. This place, known to grow marijuana and opium, was just right to hide in. Guzmán's security was top-notch, with at least 300 informants and gunmen. He used armored cars, aircraft, and all-terrain vehicles to keep ahead of law enforcement. His inner circle loyal to him and the Sinaloa Cartel helped him dodge capture. The locals got bribes to stay quiet. The Golden Triangle's tough terrain, reachable by narrow dirt roads, made any try to catch Guzmán by air almost impossible. His security team was so advanced that they could spot an aircraft from miles away, giving Guzmán plenty of time to escape before any attempt to nab him could work. After dodging arrest for years in the rough Sierra Madre Mountains, Guzmán's fortune seemed to change in early 2014. On February 16, 2014, Mexican troops got a hint about where Guzmán was hiding from his ex-wife's house. Even though they tried to break the steel-reinforced door, Guzmán got away through hidden tunnels that linked several houses. He wanted to go south to Mazatlan to see his twin daughters before going back to the mountains. On February 22, 2014, as the sun came up, the mission to catch Guzmán began. The Mexican Navy teamed up with the Drug Enforcement Administration and U.S. Marshals Service to raid a beachfront hotel in Mazatlan. The Navy brought 10 pickup trucks and more than 65 Marines to attack the Miramar condominiums on Avenida del Mar. People thought Guzmán was hiding in room 401 on the 4th floor. The authorities overpowered one of Guzmán's bodyguards and went up to the 4th floor. They forced their way into the apartment and rushed into the 2 rooms. They found Guzmán in bed with his wife, Emma Coronel Aispuro, a former beauty queen. Despite his resistance, authorities caught Guzmán without gunfire. They subdued him, took his photo, and confirmed his identity through fingerprints before flying him to Mexico City for official identification. This capture marked a win for Mexican law enforcement. Yet Guzmán's story didn't end there. On July 11, 2015, Guzmán made news again. This time, he pulled off a bold escape from the Federal Social Readaptation Center No. 1. Security cameras last saw him near his cell shower area, a spot the cameras didn't cover. When guards noticed he was gone, they started to look for him. They were stunned to find out Guzmán had gotten away through a tunnel. This tunnel started in the shower area and ended at a construction site 1.5 kilometers away. It was 10 meters deep, 1.7 meters tall, and 75 centimeters wide. The tunnel had artificial lighting, air ducts, and high-quality materials. It even had a motorcycle, which they think was used to transport materials, and maybe Guzmán himself. Guzmán's escape led to a big search. Mexican authorities, with National Security Commissioner Monte Alejandro Urubido Garcia in charge, set up checkpoints and did air searches. The Mexican government also put out an international alert to stop Guzmán from leaving the country. His escape embarrassed President Peña Nieto, who was in France when it happened. After he learned about the escape, he came back to Mexico and said he would make sure there was a full investigation. On October 2, 2015, Guzmán almost got caught after he met with actress Kate del Castillo and actor Sean Penn. Guzmán contacted del Castillo to ask for her help in creating a movie about his life. Penn, curious about this connection, accompanied del Castillo to interview Guzmán in the mountains. Soon after, Mexican officials tried to raid Guzmán's hiding place near Tamazula, Durango. They used information from tapped cell phones and U.S. intelligence. Even though there was heavy gunfire and a close call, Guzmán escaped. He carried a child to shield himself from the bullets. On January 8, 2016, his tale took another unexpected twist. Officials had been watching a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, where they thought Guzmán was lying low. The home was under observation after people reported armed individuals living there. The Mexican Navy, backed by the Army and federal police, stormed the house in Operation Black Swan. Guzmán and a deputy escaped through another tunnel, popping up 1.5 kilometers away and seizing a vehicle at gunpoint. Federal police found the vehicle about 20 kilometers south of Los Mochis. Guzmán tried to bribe the officers. He offered them money, property, and jobs. When they said no, he told them they would all die. But the police caught Guzmán even though they worried cartel members might attack. This arrest came after a series of tough operations. The police flew Guzmán back to the same high-security prison he'd escaped from in July 2015. During the raid, 5 gunmen died, 6 were caught, and 1 Marine got hurt. The authorities were determined not to let him escape again. Guzmán was placed in a specially reinforced cell, monitored around the clock by guards who were rotated frequently to prevent bribery. His every move was tracked, and he was denied any contact with the outside world. In January 2017, after months of legal battles, Guzmán was extradited to the United States to face charges of drug trafficking, money laundering, and other crimes. In 2019, after a high-profile trial in New York, Guzmán was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. He's currently serving his sentence at the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility in Florence, Colorado, also known as ADX Florence, or the Alcatraz of the Rockies, a prison known for its extreme security measures. Here, Guzmán is isolated from the outside world, with little to no chance of escape. Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán's life was a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, filled with dramatic escapes. Will his story ever truly end, or is he still planning to make another grand escape? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.